Hey guys, Anne-Marie here, and today I'm sharing a layout process video for a double page 8.5 by 11 layout. This is from my Fake It Till You Make It kit. If you're interested in any of the previous videos in that series, I have them all together in a playlist on my channel with a link here and in the description box below. So today I'm scrapping the page kit that had this really pretty rainbow floral paper with the greens. So I gathered all my stuff, and first I cropped down my photos. Generally, when I use multiple photos on an 8.5 by 11 page, I'll collage two of them. So I have two 3x4 photos on one 4x6 canvas, and then I can just print them regular. So today I have this mix of 3 vertical and 3 horizontal 3x4 photos. But I really like to arrange my photos in a block formation whenever possible, and that doesn't really work very well when you have that mix of vertical and horizontal. So I laid them out and kind of examined them and decided that there's enough empty space in the vertical ones that I could crop them a little bit without losing really important details. For example, that blue sky is just so gorgeous, and I didn't want to lose that completely. But I felt like there were ways I could crop them where I wouldn't lose things like that. So I went ahead and cut those down to be square. So they were 3x3, so they have the same height as the horizontal 3x4s. I only have one sheet of each of my pattern papers. So I want to create a 2-page layout that isn't starkly one side floral and one side green polka dot. I want to unify the layout across 2 pages and spread that pattern out. So to accomplish this, I grabbed 2 ugly pieces of cardstock, this brick red cardstock that I've been using for years. I think I might finally be seeing an end to it, but I still had these pieces, and I'm going to use them as a foundation. So I can use them, but I don't have to see them because for some reason I hate this color. So I cut the green paper roughly in a 1:2 ratio, or 1/3, 2/3, and I placed that 1/3 section down first, all the way to the left. Then I adhered the floral paper next, and then I ended with the remaining 2/3 of the green paper. So that gives the impression of the green polka dot being the full background of all 2 pages, and the floral paper is just laid on top. It also means that both colors are going on both sides. I also punched out 2 border strips using a grass punch. It felt a bit busy though, because we had these busy tiny green polka dots, or busy tiny white polka dots, next to this busy texture of the grass border, next to this busy floral pattern. So I felt like I needed a little spot of visual rest to give the eyes a break. And so I did cut down the grid paper. I cut it down, I think originally like a 1/2 inch, and that just ended up being too much. So I did eventually go back and cut it down to a 1/4 inch, and that felt better. Then I went ahead and arranged my photos in a big block on the grid paper. So a fun thing that I like to do when I am making a block and I've got a mix of square and rectangle photos, I like to stagger them. So for example, I would make the top row a horizontal 3x4 next to a 3x3 square, and then the second row would be a 3x3 square next to a 3x4 horizontal. And so that's what I wanted to do, just to create some visual interest and kind of vary the placement of the photos. However, in this case, some of the photos have really repetitive colors. So if I staggered them that way, there was like no way to arrange them that wasn't going to be all gray rocks and water on one side and all pink and green flowers on the other. And to me, the color, like needing to stagger the color, trumped needing to stagger the size. So visually that was more important to me. So I skipped that, and I just kept the sizes together, which ended up alternating the colors, and I felt that looked best. After I put the photos down, I looked at my rainbow set of stickers, labels, tabs, and banners that I'd previously created in a video, which I will link here. I also included a set of embellishments in the page kit, which consisted of these like 3 acetate pieces, 3 cut apart cards with butterflies, and this kind of folk art design, and then a couple of little birds with a sentiment, which also kind of had a folk art feel. And the butterflies in the Blooming Wild collection had a similar design style, kind of folk art butterfly wings. So I like that those that I had those in my stash and could use them. These also really complemented the colors in that floral paper, and they supported the nature theme of the whole layout. So it was really perfect. So I fussy cut the butterflies out of the squares and I arranged them with the other embellishments in kind of a rough visual triangle. And then I worked on the title. So I wanted to make sure I had enough space for the title to also integrate one of those embellishment clusters in it. So I was really thrilled that I had a word or phrase sticker that I could use. I feel like I buy these because I think they're going to be such an easy title. And then it's so hard to actually use them because there's something that never works, like the color or the size or the font, or the word is too specific or too vague, or like there's a million reasons why they don't work. So I was thrilled that one finally worked, but I gotta stop buying these. All right, so to contrast though with that kind of scripty feel of the word details, I looked for some block letters for the remainder of my title and found those in a Simple Stories sticker book. After I built the title, I built an embellishment cluster just off of that to kind of bridge the title and the photo. And how I created that cluster kind of set the formula for how I could build my other clusters. I did want kind of a way to make it more, I guess, integrated into that background and feel more organically part of the layout. So I fussy cut some flowers, and I didn't have any full flowers, so these are all kind of partial flowers, but I fussy cut some flowers from a scrap of the floral paper that I still had, and then integrated them into the embellishment clusters. And it was a really cool effect. Like, it's kind of like the flowers are growing out from the background and into and around the embellishment clusters, and I just really liked that effect. I also had some ribbon in this page kit, and I originally wanted to set eyelets so I could like tie the ribbon through the eyelets around the side of the cardstock, but my crocodile finally died a very undignified death, and I can't use my eyelets right now, so I had to settle for my tiny attacher, which, you know, I love my tiny attacher. It just wasn't what I wanted entirely in this moment. So if you have a reliable way to set eyelets, please let me know in the comments, because I still have a ton of them and I do occasionally like to use them. So yeah, I would appreciate it. Okay, so then I moved on. I went ahead and I chopped that grid paper that I had left into strips and then wrote my journaling on those. I just kind of cut them in places that made sense, and then I tore the ends for a little texture, and I just scattered all those down the side of the layout to kind of not fill completely, but mostly fill that big open area on the right hand side. And then for finishing touches, I just ended up pulling out a rainbow of enamel dots to kind of scatter around my embellishment clusters and pull even more of those colors kind of out into the green from the center. And that's the layout. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing or clicking the thumbs up. I'll be back on Monday with a layout share with the rest of the layouts that I have made with my Fake It Till You Make It kit. I will, however, be sharing the layout process videos probably later in July for most of the remaining layouts. So keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, I hope you have a scrappy, happy week. Bye.